One.
Hello, everybody. I wanted to make sure that we are all super organized. So I want to go through three things that you should be checking really regularly. You need to make sure that you are checking your email for GUHSD, your ID number at GUHSD.net. Make sure that you are taking care of your messages. I realize that there are a lot of you that have signed up for apps that maybe you didn't really want, or that you're using, but you don't need the notifications all the time. You should really check every message, make sure that you have read it, or make sure that you have done something about it if it's not something you want to read. For example, I just got this. I get this. I've realized that since I went to this conference a year ago, I've been getting these emails from the Beijing Language and Culture University Press. Some of them were good, but I really don't want to get them every week. So I click it and I just go quickly to the bottom of it. At the very bottom of every email, there's something that looks like this, especially if it was sent out from a marketer. So click unsubscribe from this list so that it's not something that distracts you in your email. So click unsubscribe so that you stop getting stuff that you don't want to get. Notice I have my email divided into two. I have the ones that are marked as not read because they're in bold, and I have the ones that are read that I've already looked through here. I don't always bother deleting everything, but I do save things if they're kind of important. But I also, after I read it, once I read it, I do get in the habit of throwing them away. So, there's a lot of ways to do that. You can just, after you read it, click it. And some of these I actually don't want to throw away. I can throw away that though. And then you just go up to the trash can and make sure you delete them. But try to keep it relatively neat. I have 16 that I have not read, which is pretty doable. When it gets to more, I really try to make sure that I'm taking care of it. But there's ways to make sure this is organized in the way you want to see it. One of the best things you can do is go over here to settings. So why don't you do that? As soon as I do this, pause it after I'm done with Gmail and make sure you play around with this. There are ways to organize the display right here, and then go to settings right here. Themes was another fun one. Right here. If you clicked it and you go to theme, notice I have like mountains and nature in the background. You can do whatever you want for fun. But if you go over to settings is going to be divided into all these other things that you can do. And one of the most important things that I think you should do, by the way, this is a cool one right here. Enable undo send. Undo send is basically if you're typing an email and you click send and you're like, oops, wait a second. Oh my God, I just saw a huge typo when I was sending it to a teacher. Then you have time to get it back. I put mine on for 30 seconds, which is kind of long, but that's happened to me a few times where I'm looking at what I just sent out and then I see another email and I'm like, oh my goodness, I didn't even need to send that email because there is something that, related to it or whatever. So I can go back and retrieve it and you don't look so silly. So anyway, undo send is a useful tool. Then when you go down, another good one is the picture. You can upload a picture. You can also put a signature in. Teachers have this at the bottom of their page. Anybody who's, basically doing anything regularly has one. You can also just do one so you don't have to sign your name every time, and the teachers will see who it is at the bottom, ID number. Don't put anything too personal on there though, because this is your school website. So, don't put your address unless you don't mind if teachers text you or whatever. That's not unusual, by the way, in this day and age, because everybody who's in a club is somehow texting everybody, and you're old enough to deal with that. So the other part is, what was I going to show you? Oh, over here for inbox. If you go to inbox up here on the tab, I like to show unread items at the top because, as I was saying before, my unread items are the ones that are very important that I need to deal with. So after I've read an email, I will mark it as unread, and everything else is underneath that. So that's all that's on this part. There's other things in here like labs. Labs are really fun to just go down and see what you can do on it, but some of it is just all sort of distraction, silly stuff. But you can explore that on your own. So that is pretty much everything to do with the inbox. You can go through. There are ways to make new folders under here. I can't remember how to do that right now. Right here, mail. Notice there are three. All your contacts can also be in another separate section. Right now I am in mail, but all my contacts are kept here in contacts too. I've never used tasks before, but when I click inbox, you also, how do we make folders? I can't remember how I set them up here. Well, anyway, you guys will figure that out. Okay, so that's it for mail as far as I'm concerned. Go ahead and pause it and go back there and make sure you organize your mail. So spend about 5 minutes doing that and then go to the next video.